Netflix's The Four Seasons ends with major twists for Nick, Steve Carell, and Ginny, Erica Henningsen. The Netflix series adapts the Four Seasons 1981 movie that starred Alan Alda and Carol Burnett. Alda has a supporting role as Don, the father of Anne, Kerry Kennesilver, in the Netflix adaptation. In addition to Carell, Henningsen, Alda, and Kennesilver, the cast of the Four Seasons show includes Colman Domingo, Tina Fey, Will Forte, and Marco Calvani. The show follows the same premise as the movie, with the story following a friend group of 3 couples as they go on vacation together in spring, summer, fall, and winter. When Nick decides to leave Anne, who he has been married to for 25 years, his decision forever changes the group's dynamics, especially when he begins dating Ginny, who is much younger than him. Despite the overarching similarities, the show makes several significant changes from the Four Seasons movie, especially when it comes to the fate of Nick. Nick's death in the Four Seasons explained and how it differs from the movie. The character does not die in the movie. Steve Carell smiling in Netflix's The Four Seasons. Nick's death in the Four Seasons show is the biggest change from the movie, where the character is still alive when the credits roll. In the show, Nick is killed in a car accident when driving back from the store during the penultimate episode. His death would have been shocking under any circumstances, but it is even more jarring since he is seen buying alcohol-free beverages and vegan snacks at the store shortly before Kate, Faye, and the audience learn about what happened to him. While speaking with Netflix's Tudum, co-creators Faye and Tracy Wigfield reveal that they wanted one of the main characters to die because the Four Seasons characters are at a stage of life when they need long-time friendships to help navigate life's darkest challenges. As for why Nick is the character they chose to kill, Faye explains that Steve's character is the character that was like, "I only live once, life is short. I'm going to do what I want." And he was right. Nick's death also enables the other characters to re-evaluate their own lives in the finale. What Ginny's pregnancy means for the Four Seasons. Nick's legacy can live on. Nick, Steve Carell, and Ginny, Erica Henningsen, laughing in the Four Seasons image by Yaelin Chacon. The loss of Nick is the twist that hangs over the finale, only for a bombshell about Ginny to be dropped in the episode's final moments. When the group toasts Nick, Kate notices that Ginny does not drink her alcoholic beverage, and then confirms that Ginny is pregnant. This adds new meaning to Ginny's scenes in the finale. Kate telling Ginny that her relationship with Nick was just a blip, and Ginny not being allowed to speak at his funeral becomes even more hurtful when knowing that she is pregnant and that she and Nick were going to be parents. As for what this means for the show's future, Ginny will have to decide if she wants to keep the baby. If she chooses to keep it, she will not have to raise the child alone, as Nick's friends and even his ex-wife, Anne, will definitely be there to support her. Ginny's own friends, who were introduced in the penultimate episode, may help as well. While Nick is gone, Ginny raising his child with the support of his friends and ex-wife is a way for his legacy to live on. How Kate and Jack and Claude and Danny reconcile. They learn to listen again. While much of the show focuses on Nick, Ginny, and Anne, the romantic relationships between Kate and Jack, Forte, and between Danny, Domingo, and Claude, Calvani, are also integral to the show. Both married couples initially seem to be doing well, especially when compared to Nick and Anne, but they have their own problems bubbling underneath the surface that eventually become significant problems they have to confront. Kate and Jack begin to reconcile by going to therapy and by doing a job of listening to each other's frustrations and needs. Losing Nick helps Kate and Jack further re-evaluate their relationship and see what is truly important. They are able to fully trust each other again after Jack's knowledge from reading a book about Napoleon Bonaparte helps them safely make it off a frozen lake. Danny and Claude are also able to reconcile by doing a better job of listening to each other's needs. This includes Claude validating Danny's grief after Nick dies instead of invalidating those feelings with a positive spin on the situation. Danny and Claude decide to run through life together instead of running away from its challenges. How the ending sets up the Four Seasons Season 2. There are still plenty of challenges for the characters to navigate. Colman Domingo and Tina Fey standing together and smiling in the Four Seasons. The Four Seasons Season 2 has not been officially greenlit by Netflix yet, but the Season 1 finale leaves plenty of stories to continue exploring. Ginny's pregnancy would be the main storyline to continue following. Seeing the characters continuing to go on seasonal vacations together would become comedic and dramatic in different ways, with Ginny being pregnant and if her baby is along for the ride as well. The friend group wanting to support Ginny with the baby provides a strong reason for her to continue spending time with them despite her past conflicts with them and despite Nick's absence. There is also more to explore with the Four Seasons characters grieving over Nick's death. His loss will still impact each of the main characters, who will inevitably continue to struggle in their own ways. The series has only had one full episode to unpack the characters' grief, but grief is an ongoing process, and if the show was bold enough to kill Nick, it also needs to be bold enough to do justice to the aftermath of such a tragedy. The real meaning of the 4 seasons ending. Listen, and be there in the good and bad times. And, Kerry Kenny, and Kate, Tina Fey, hugging side by side in the 4 seasons Season 1. Image via Netflix. The 4 seasons is ultimately about the importance of loved ones listening to each other and being there for each other during the good and bad times. Nick and Anne's relationship fell apart because they stopped listening to what each other needed. The marriage of Kate and Jack and of Danny and Claude come dangerously close to falling apart as well when they stop listening to each other. The same concept is not only true in romantic relationships, but for friendship as well, which is particularly evident in the conflict and reconciliation within Kate and Danny's friendship. The friendships in the show have been able to endure for decades and continue to endure because they are present when it matters most, whether it is a fun vacation or in a time of grief. The characters know how to have fun together, but they also know how to be supportive. Continuing to be friends with and after the divorce and eventually accepting Ginny into their group is part of that, all of which is worth further exploring in the 4 seasons Season 2.